Welcome back to the second part. I can't believe I'm actually finally posting the second part of this. As you can see, the whole thing escalated. I'm currently working on 3 different pieces. The black one is the easy one with a zipper in the front. Please excuse my leggings I'm wearing in that clip. As you can see in these work process clips, the second one is gonna be with punto quilting, and the third one, that is really not finished yet. We're gonna hammer in some eyelets because some people said they would like to do that. Let's take a close-up look of her pieces. So there is the pink one with the zipper in the front, and then there is the golden one with like 1,000 eyelets and strings. In the more advanced version, we're gonna mimic these little details, but not like just reference those little details, but not completely copy them. Just a very quick sneak peek so you know what I'm talking about. This is going to be the next video with the advanced version. Video is going to be way shorter, and it's going to be just about the extras you can add to your corsage. So it has more depth. It's just a technique called punto quilting, and you cut out pieces from your padding material and you stitch over it. More on that in the next video. The simpler version, we are gonna go more into the direction of the black cone bra. Also, that is gonna be easier. That's the whole point. I'm really trying to sell this as easy. Yeah. This is weeks later, Blanca. None of them is easy. One is just more work, and the other one is less work, I guess. I lied to you, I'm sorry. Look at this gorgeous shiny black fabric. It's actually a fucking ugly dress for €2.20 from my local thrift store. Yeah, in my tutorials we're only gonna use secondhand clothes or tablecloths or whatever because it's cheap and it's sustainable. To build a stiff structure, you're gonna need zip ties, and you're gonna need for the cone some padding material of your choice. Let's take a look at our pattern from the last video. In this version, the pieces with the boob hole are gonna be the outside construction, while the one with the curve is gonna be the inside construction. And I also sliced the back into 2 pieces because I just wanted to have a seam there. Before you cut your pattern, add 1 centimeter seam allowance everywhere except at the boob hole. Add 3 centimeters in the center front for the zipper. Fold your fabrics and cut out everything twice. So this black fabric was very thin, so I glued it together with some interface to make it stiff and not that slippery. Mark your seams if you need it, and let's move to the next step. This is a very close shot. Yes, it's very messy. You see, there are all my hats I make. I make hats and happy fashion. Okay, this is the very easy part of the sewing. You just stitch together the 2 front pieces. Let's say stitch length 3. So this is me dying because of migraines. This is how it should look from the back, and we can move on to the cone. Don't forget to iron it. So what we're gonna do is we mark always 10 degrees. You can do more or less too. On our pattern, do these little holes, transfer the markings to our fabric, because we have to do these top stitches together with the padding. Oops. This part is obvious, so I'm just gonna beatbox over it. I'm bad at beatboxing. Okay, so if you weren't an idiot like me and took a black fabric, you basically could only mark with chalk, but that's okay. I just don't have chalk, and I don't want to go through Jenny's stuff. But as soon as she's here, I'm gonna ask her for some chalk and mark my lines. Now I marked it with the friction pen. Anyway, you go down, leave the needle in, lift your little foot, I mean the one on the sewing machine, turn it, like I don't know, you don't have to do the line next to it, you can pick another one, and go back. If you do this for the first time, don't use contrasting threads. There you go. Okay, so you did it. Needle is still in, and you go like, there is my another line. So we have this piece finished with the top stitches. As I taught you, go down, turn, back. This way you don't have loose ends here, or not that many. Oh, you put together your cup, and then you cut away this one. See? Because you don't need that. Maybe a bit less. Oh, isn't this exciting? Good. You pin it. 2 pins are enough. I mean, hopefully your fabric is stiff by now. You have the tip of your cone here. So you want to have this seam that is going to be here really go up here, That's why you marked and made sure that you don't finish your lines here or something. You have to go and do it there. Wait, you see? So we have our cup. It's lovely. You see, especially if you did it out of a shiny fabric, it looks like a shell, basically, like a seashell with these top stitches. Now, bias tape. This is gonna be tricky, so I explain everything very, very detailed. If you know how to do this, you can skip. Bias tape is fabric that you cut in a 45-degree angle. So instead of cutting like stripes like this or like this, you cut it like this. That makes it elastic. You can cut it from the fabric you use, or you can buy bias tape and it's folded like this, and then you fold it again like this. Okay, this part I'm going to show you with the white bias tape, but I'm going to use a black one at the end. So you pin it like this, and then I marked it just with a Sharpie to show you. You stitch over that line. Okay, this is the back side, and this is the nice side. So the reason why we're doing is to cover this edge of the boob hole. So if you do it really nicely, you should actually fold the bias tape on the inside again. But we're gonna have a lining, so it's not necessary. It's probably better for the structure and the support and the shaping of the whole thing if you really fold it again. So you have 4 layers of bias tape there, but you can just skip it. Make sure that when you pin it, you form a nice cone and don't flatten it. I just like my patterns to be clean. So in my pattern, the seam on the cup and the seam in the front make one line. It's not a must, but it's prettier. And also double check that curve there. And once again, I would like to apologize for saying that this is an easy tutorial. It's not. Doing these 2 following stitches on the bias tape at approximately 1 millimeter to the edge is a pain in the ass. It helps if you have this little extra foot or you just mark everything. And we check if everything is symmetrical before we move to the next step. It was very late at the studio and I was talking bullshit, so I'm doing a voiceover now. I already finished one part, but we're gonna do the other one together. As you can see, I have these little tubes with the cable ties, and we're gonna cut away the padding at the side of the cups. We have this extra part in the beginning because it's easier, way easier to work with it. We're gonna have two here at this seam. That's easy to put there. We're gonna have one here and one here. You can actually put like maybe another one here. We need to make these tubes. We need to make these tubes. I'm not gonna overthink this. I just make it tube. First, you saw along this one. Then you really squeeze it tight, and you do it on the other side. But if it's easier for you, you mark it. You mark it, and then you take it out, and then you stitch over this. Okay, we have it. Okay, cut down this part. Okay, now we place this. Because if you just started using a sewing machine, I think it's okay when you mark everything. See? Marked. Like this, okay? I'm gonna place it there. And now comes the shitty part, because obviously this is on the ugly side, but you have to make it from the nice side, because if you switch, you're gonna see it on the seam, you know, the stitches, they're not gonna be so nice like on the, if you do it from this side. So you have to trick. And that's where we cheat. I'm gonna glue this thing in. Okay, correction corner, I am actually gluing this in with this stripe before I'm sewing it in. Don't just glue it in, that's very barbaric. I once in second year glued in the lining of my coat because it was an hour before the show and I was not done. Watch me do it. You know this. Also, look at my nails, how I'm holding this stick. And you have to be careful that you that you don't sew over it. But you know, like do this with your fingers and slowly, carefully guide it. That's how you do it. By slowly, I mean you do slowly, I do this tempo, no? Now we pray that it's even. It's gonna be fine. It's okay. It's good enough. Nobody's gonna see it. Trust me. Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah. There is the stick. We repeat it here and here. It should be parallel to this one. And yeah, kind of to this, yeah. So we basically finished the front of our Madonna coated bra. This is the amount I could do in one day. As you can see in the video, I'm close to dying. It was around 10 or 11 and the morning started with an exploding bottle hitting my eye. So just put together your pieces, stitch them together temporarily with stitch length 4, try it on, look for major minor mistakes, and don't forget to rest, that's crucial, and see you in the next video. Part 3 of this tutorial is actually already done, I just did not have any time to edit it because I'm also working on other projects and I'm a bit busy these days. If you feel like sticking around, you can like and subscribe or follow me on my social media, and I hope I see you in 2 weeks.